Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into a social experiment that pushes human endurance, sanity, and trust to the absolute breaking point. Picture this. Two complete strangers, Susie and Bailey, are locked inside a massive, blindingly white isolation chamber. Sure, their basic needs are covered. They have beds, a bathroom, and plenty of canned food, but they are completely cut off from the rest of humanity. No sunlight, no clocks, absolutely zero entertainment. Just four white walls and each other. And sitting in a vault, waiting for them, if they can pull this off, is $500,000. $500,000! Honestly, at first glance, it sounds like the ultimate dream scenario, right? Getting paid a literal fortune just to exist and do absolutely nothing. But as we're going to see, doing nothing is, ironically, one of the most agonizing things you can put the human mind through. Because the catch here is absolutely brutal. If one person taps out and leaves the cube, they both lose everything. Which brings us to the ultimate question. Is the isolation actually worth that massive payout? Every little annoyance, every moment of weakness, every single second you spend missing the outside world doesn't just threaten your money, it threatens your partners too. You are completely tethered to a total stranger's willpower. And it doesn't take long for the boredom to hit hard. Like by day 4, Bailey is literally ripping pages out of their journals just to make a makeshift deck of playing cards. By day 7, he's throwing pieces of cooked pork at the walls just to see if they stick. It's funny, yeah, but it really shows how incredibly fast sheer, unadulterated cabin fever sets in. What makes that extreme boredom even worse is the total loss of time. Without the sun, your circadian rhythm completely breaks down. On just their first night, they accidentally took a 2-hour nap, woke up, cooked some chicken, and started their second day at 2:37 in the morning. They had absolutely no clue what time it was. Bailey nailed it when he said they just had to act like this bizarre, timeless existence was their new normal. But by day 12, something fundamental shifts inside the cube. They realize the isolation is actually changing how they think. It becomes this realization that you either break in there or you become someone stronger. Quitting suddenly feels illegal. They decide they aren't just surviving this challenge anymore, they're conquering it, proving they can suffer and stay disciplined. But the host knows exactly how to test that discipline. He starts weaponizing their discomfort by offering a way out for a massive chunk of their shared money, $50,000. See, to set this up, late on day 12, the lights suddenly shut off. For the first time, the room went completely dark with zero warning. No sound, just darkness. And honestly, that sudden sensory deprivation was terrifying. It set the stage for day 13, which was the beginning of something worse, brutal temptations. Do you keep your hard-earned money, or do you buy a private chef for 50 grand? Or do you buy smart beds and the ability to control those stinging overhead lights for another 50 grand? They have to weigh the agonizing financial pain of losing that cash against the sheer physical pain of their environment. And miraculously, they turn down both. They say no to the chef and no to the beds and the light switch. Now, Susie almost immediately feels a pang of regret about those lights, but Bailey steps right up with this incredible support. He tells her, "I feel no regret in your decision." It's a huge moment. You really see the early solidarity building between these two. They are completely united against the host, guarding that prize pool with insane discipline. But the host is smart, and by day 30, he pivots. Instead of asking for one massive $50,000 purchase, he rolls out an a la carte menu, 10 grand a pop for smaller comforts. And you know what? It works. It breaks the resolve. Susie is desperate for her morning routine and caves for a coffee machine, while Bailey grabs the Harry Potter books to fight off the mind-numbing boredom. It's such a clever psychological trick. Smaller numbers just feel so much less damaging, even though they're still draining the prize pool. They didn't completely lose their edge, though. In fact, they get incredibly creative. Around day 40, they're given a free TV, but the host wants to charge them 10 grand just to watch a single movie. No way. They absolutely refuse. Instead, they literally rip a piece of scrap wire right off the wall, fray the ends with a kitchen knife, and jam it straight into the TV's antenna port. And it actually works. They managed to pull in a free local digital TV signal. Suddenly, these two people who couldn't care less about motorsports are jumping up and down ecstatic to watch a free, blurry race car broadcast. So they have these little victories. But on day 50, the psychological warfare goes to a whole new level. The host knows exactly which buttons to press. He offers them a 10-minute window to see their families. And the kicker? It happens to be Susie's mother's birthday. Oh man. They happily drop 20 grand for just a few minutes of connection. But think about it.
It's this incredible emotional high, immediately followed by the crushing reality that the window closes and they are right back in that little white cube all alone.
That emotional roller coaster sets the stage for day 60, where they face a choice that completely derails the vibe in the room. The host wheels in a giant mystery box. He doesn't say a word about what's inside. He just asks, "Do you want to spend $50,000 to keep it?" Now, Susie had said earlier that her dream purchase, the only thing she'd drop big money on, was a Tesla. But in that room, the fear of the unknown is just paralyzing. So out of pure fear, they choose to save the money and send the box away. But what was actually inside? It is gut-wrenching. The box wasn't worthless at all. Inside was a $50,000 stack of cash, meaning the box was essentially free, plus the keys to 2 brand new Teslas. They literally rejected the ultimate dream prize simply because they couldn't trust the setup. The psychological toll of that realization is massive. Susie completely spirals. For 9 straight days, she is utterly devastated over missing out on her dream car. The mood in the cube just tanks. They're angry, they aren't sleeping, and they feel completely defeated by these relentless mind games. The tension is unbearable. So on day 70, the host totally flips the script. He brings back every single item they ever rejected: the smart beds, the chef, the movies, spices, and a brand new mystery box. He sets up a blind bid auction. If they bid even a penny below his secret number, they get absolutely nothing. Susie and Bailey huddle up, they strategize, and they manage to secure the whole lot with this incredibly specific, perfect bid of $100,101. And for that 6-figure bid, they hit the absolute jackpot. In an instant, this bleak, blindingly white cell turns into a luxury suite. We're talking plush beds, a massive movie library, a private chef making gourmet meals, and inside that new mystery box, 2 smaller Teslas. It's like a high-end vacation now. They are over the moon. You'd think the last leg of this challenge would be an absolute breeze, right? Well, actually, no. And this is the most fascinating paradox of the entire experiment. Getting everything they wanted actually ruined their dynamic. It's so true to life, right? Hardship forces us to unite. But comfort? Comfort breeds entitlement. Back when they had nothing, they were a total team. But the second they got luxuries, the interpersonal conflict skyrocketed. Suddenly, they're fighting over the hot water running out during showers. They're bickering because Susie wants to chill and watch movies, but Bailey is obsessed with finishing this never-ending 7-day game of Monopoly. The cabin fever evolves into them just relentlessly annoying each other. Their energy levels are completely mismatched, and it becomes a massive issue. I mean, look at this quote. "Sometimes you gotta rave." That was Bailey's actual excuse for aggressively pacing and dancing around the room at 3 in the morning while Susie is practically begging for sleep. The person who used to be your only ally in the world has suddenly become your absolute worst roommate. But despite all that intense friction, despite the endless Monopoly arguments and the completely wrecked sleep schedules, they miraculously make it to day 99. They are right at the finish line, but of course, the host isn't done. He has one final, completely terrifying psychological trap waiting for them on their very last night. To really grasp this finale, we have to talk about game theory. Because their 100 days of bonding, of sharing this tiny space, of surviving pure boredom and eventual luxury together, all of it is about to be put to the ultimate mathematical test. The host separates them, blindfolds them, and drops the classic split or steal dilemma in their laps. No communication allowed. If they both choose split, they share what's left of the cash. If one steals, the stealer takes every last penny. But if they both let greed take over and choose steal, they both walk away with absolute zero. It all comes down to this immense, crushing pressure. Do you trust this person? The annoying roommate who kept you up raving at 3 a.m.? Or do you hit that steal button and secure a life-changing fortune of $360,000 all for yourself? It is the ultimate pressure test of human nature. And the outcome is honestly incredible. In this beautiful testament to human resilience and connection, they both chose to split. They pushed that button at the exact same time. They proved that the bond they forged over 100 days in that bizarre white cube was actually stronger than the temptation of absolute wealth. They survived the boredom, they survived the mind games, and when it mattered most, they survived the ultimate test of greed. Which leaves us with this really profound thought. When you strip away all the normal distractions of the modern world and force yourself into an environment literally designed to break your spirit, how would it change you? Could you walk away from total isolation with your sanity, your friendships, and your integrity intact? It's a fascinating look at who we really are under pressure. Thanks for diving into this explainer with me today.